Hey, it's Jason with Backpack Aviators. Wanted to do kind of a review of Brian Taylor's kind of his Air Force paramotor, which is now Taylor Aviation, the T-1 Pro, and it comes with the thumb throttle. So I kind of want to talk about the thumb throttle. We'll talk about the units different time, but as of right now, I just wanted to review this thumb throttle. So Brian offers this thumb throttle, ATV style, and obviously it's been modified for the throw of the carburetors, and it has a kill switch. As of right now, I believe the electric start has the start button in the bottom, and this one's just kill switch because I got them on the Atom 80 on this particular unit. I just wanted to try it, see what it was all about. So anyway, the throttle is comfortable. It's got a Velcro handle here, and I'll show you some comparisons to the off-grid. So it's got a nice little Velcro there to keep it pretty stationary. Nice thumb pad here. Nice spring return. Easy to operate. Now there are some pros and cons with this, and just like any other throttle. Some of the pros are that with the, let's say, off-grid aviation throttle I've used on this one, it makes your bottom two fingers busy or your three fingers busy, where this one only makes your thumb busy, okay? So now you have these fingers kind of free to manipulate things as you need them. This one, you'll obviously goose the throttle. Everybody's done that on this particular style. So there are some unique advantages, and to me, you know, everything has pros and cons. It's paramotor, it's aviation, everything has pros and cons. This only comes in the right hand at this particular time. I don't know if he has any left-hand options. I don't think so. So I'm right-hand dominant, and I don't like the throttle in my right hand. I like to keep my right hand ready for a reserve toss. Your strong hand is your, reserve toss. Now, having said that, with this style throttle, having reserve here, technically, there's no problem. You can get it with your hand. You can pull the reserve. It's just when you toss it, you'll probably end up tossing the throttle with it. So even though you might be right hand dominant and have your reserve on your right hand side, like I said, with your fingers are able to grab that and pull it. So just kind of something new to learn. And that's why I wanted to do it, because I'm used to a left-hand throttle. You always wanted your weak hand to be your throttle hand, so that way if anything happened, you didn't goose it. So another feature that people kind of like, again, with the, I got it slinky on there, is the cruise control on the off-grid aviation. This one doesn't have a cruise control, but what I found is you can kind of wedge your thumb there and make your own cruise control. Just kind of set your thumb there and the throttle stays about where you want it, and you can cruise control it that way. So that's kind of interesting as well. It is big in the hand. I feel like it's big in the hand, but it's not in a way, if that makes sense. It is, a handful, but your fingers are free. And what I wanted to show, and we'll go out here on the field and show you an inflation of a wing, how the lines have to be on top of this throttle cable, whereas most people are used to the throttle cable coming from underneath and draping down this way. This throttle cable is now up at peripheral vision. You'll see it. You're up here looking at it. So when you have your lines, you want to make sure your lines are over the top of this, and you have a unique way to hold your A, and I'll show you that coming up. We'll splice that in, and that's what makes this throttle a little bit unique, a little bit challenging, but in flight is pretty comfortable. Just your thumb and all your other digits are free, as compared to, again, we look with off-grid aviation, it's on your less dominant hand. It has cruise control and you only have, your top 2 fingers free. Whereas that one, you have all 4 of your fingers free. A little bit of pros and cons. It is a little bit heavier, obviously, with the metal casting. It does have a little bit of weight to it, has some girth to it. This is all aluminum, nice textured rubber grip, Velcro. It is built very well. It's built, I'd say build quality is really good. It's just different. It's just different. At first I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But it's just different. That's why I wanted to try it. So we'll go out here in the field, hook a glider up, show you the lay of your lines when you go to inflate this and kind of how it works. So I just want to give you a review of that real quick. So let's cut there and then we'll go get a glider. All right, Jason back here with Backpack Aviators. Still reviewing the thumb throttle from Taylor Aviation / American or Air Force Paramotors, the T-1 here. So just kind of give you in the live, out in the wild, what it's like with this throttle. To hook in, and we'll try to do an inflation. I won't do a full takeoff, us doing inflation. That way you can see how to hold it, where your hands are at, and what it's like. So we'll start with, let's go ahead and start it. So you'll notice you have to kind of bring your thumb up and around a little bit. So that way when you go to start it, this is the 80, Adam 80. There we go. So moving your thumb kind of up and around a little bit. Now this is what's going to be hooking in. All right, as you hook in, you do your flip. Not too eventful, except when your brakes come off. You gotta love that. All right, there we go. All right, so how to get your A's. So you normally, get your brake handles, reach under, grab your A, and then you have your throttle in your hand. Okay, so this is a little bit different. On your brake toggle, you can decide whether you want to do all 4 fingers, grab it like that, 2 fingers, whatever works with you. But you're going to need your index finger free. And I guess, I'll kill it so I'll wait and hear me. So now you're going to need your index finger free for your A's. As you come under to get your A, you need to make sure all your lines or around that and up on top of the throttle cable. This is what I was talking about. Where normal throttle cables come underneath, all your lines need to be on top of this throttle. Now, this is where it gets a little different and can be a little challenging at the beginning. It's how do you hold your A, okay? Since you have this in your hand. The way it's going to work is you're really going to hold it with your index finger. I don't know if you can see this. You can come in a little bit if you want to. The A medallion or mallion, whatever you want to call it, will lay on top, and you're going to hold that A with your first finger. Okay, so this way you have access to your throttle. So when you go to inflate, you're going to use your finger to hold the A. It's a little bit different. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and some people feel like that they'll feel like the right side will come up a little bit more because you're a little more choked up on your A than you are your left hand side, or you can kind of even it out if you want to. But let me show you kind of how an inflation would work with this throttle. Okay, so let's see if we can get this down. All right, take some slack out here. Make sure them lines are over the top of the throttle. Let's see if we can get this inflation with this one. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, and away we go. That's how you do it, and you be on the throttle. just like this. So you need that A in your finger, and that's how you inflate it. Okay, so it's a little bit different technique, and you have to make sure that your lines are on top of the throttle. All right, so in flight, same as ever, brakes, throttle, 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 no big deal. It's just the inflation is a little different, or a lot different, so I wanted to be honest about that. So that's kind of my review of this throttle. Give it a try, see what you think. It's not bad. So we'll see you next time, and we'll talk about a little bit more on the 180 version I got in the hangar. So it's Jason, Backpack Aviator. Have a good one. Come on in, Jay.